augers aren't working in the bend very good here. You can see the system. And they're not rotating around the outside. So we've got an issue up here. This little wheel has lost all of its teeth. And so I'm gonna have to do a repair on that. So we'll go up and take a closer look at that little wheel that drives around that track. We have a part schematic of the grain STIR-ATOR, STIR augers. And here's the front page of the manual, GSI, and the owner's manual. Design 3 STIR auger. Ours is actually slightly different if you watch the video. But what we ended up doing is we had to remove this piece right here and 41. So you come down to 41, and this is what we removed: the drive wheel with sprocket and bushing assembly. So that's what we had to get. And again, here it is. You have to remove this plate right here with the 3 bolts you saw. You also have to lift it up. We also took the bolts loose for this motor and slid it in, and so you can get the chain off. And once you have the lifted up high enough, you can take these 3 bolts out, which aren't easy to get to, and then you can pull that off and change it out. Put a new piece on, slip it back on there, bolt it back in, tighten your chain back up, you're good to go. Make it sound real easy there. You can see this track has little teeth in it. And you can see this isn't a drive wheel, this is a follower wheel. That's the drive wheel. You see the teeth are gone. So I'll have to remove this sprocket, which actually it's a gear, and I'll have to remove bolts off the back side. This one on top, and there's 2 more down below. It's kind of like this but reverse. So I'll take that one off the top. We'll slip down below. And a little information. This is a DMC. Put back to the, and then I'll have to remove these 2 bolts right down here. And also you have to remove these 2 pins so you can slide this off, and you actually have to raise this whole track work up. There's 2 different ways of raising it. You can either raise it by a special tool that I got with me, or they said that you could take and run these augers backwards, and it'll actually push up, and you'll be able to lift that up, and then you'll be able to pull that sprocket off there. So we'll see how that works. And another thing, besides removing these 2 small bolts here, we need to take the bolts underneath there that hold that motor and slide the motor this way so you don't have to keep the chain off. You know, just let the chain come slack, because there's a sprocket and chain on the back side there you can't see. Go ahead and take that bolt off. Make sure you have these 2 pins out, and I have the one on top out right there, and I have my motor bolts, my bolts for my nuts for my motor all loose, so I can be slid in. Here's the fixture I have to push up. You'll have to just crank it up, and at the same time, if you have corn in your bend like I do, you want to turn these augers so it acts like a screw jack. It pushes this up, and then you should be able to get the wheel out of the back side. And that fixture was supplied to me by Linton's Grain Service, so I'll put their information down below. That was very kind of them. I bought the tools, I bought the parts. Once you have it raised up high enough with the fixture down here, the bolts are all out here. I took this little cover off right here to get access to the chain, so I can kind of slip the chain off to the side. You can see the chain down in there. And we'll see if I can lift it up out. It takes a little bit of work to get the chain off, but once you have the chain off, you can lift it up out, and you can see there are no teeth left on this one. Now it's time to take to the shop. And we'll have to take the snap ring off, the old one. It's got a little gunk built up on it, so you might need a little pry bar to pry it up. There we go, we work it a little bit, it'll come off. And we'll clean it, put a little lube on it for the new bushing.
Gotcha. Put down here.
Put a little lube down on there.
Yeah.
Those are probably bushings that have oil built into them, but just to be safe. Drop it on. Put the washer in. And just put the snap ring back. And we'll just put the snap ring back on.
Right here.
And we'll give it a spin. Look at that. Like new, because it is new. So it's ready to go back in the bin. And we have the new one ready to go back in. And to speed things up, we are taking corn off right now. I'm only going to video small parts and putting it back together. Because once you know how to take it apart, you're going to have a good idea how to put it back together. We'll go ahead and finish tightening these bolts up. Put the covers on. Put our pins in to keep it from lifting whenever it's running. And it should be ready to test. And go ahead and tension the motor up. And tighten the bolts up on that. Once you have these guys done, there'll be a cover that goes on the top. And our chain was a little bit on the dry side, so we ended up putting a little chain lube on it as well. There it goes. And this is the tool we used to install or actually raise the rail up so we get it out, and it just pushes up. As you saw it, this just gives you an idea what it looks like outside. This hooks over the rail right there. This lays against the wall, and this is what you push up with to raise it. And it gives you an idea of how big it is. It's about a 10-inch piece by about 5 inches there. So just gives you a little idea if you want to try making something. If you're Ben guys don't have one of these fixtures to help you out.